Jamaica is listening, Eastern St. Thomas is listening, and we see the misinformation being put out there by the outgoing Member of Parliament, Michelle Charles. And I'm happy you could join me this morning just to shut down the rumors and to open the eyes of the citizens, in particular license, what exactly is happening at Poinciana Crescent in license. Go right ahead and just explain what is happening over there.
Thank you very much, Trey. It's always a pleasure to be on your program. Good morning, Jamaica. Morning, License. Morning, Eastern St. Thomas. Okay, what happened since I was elected in November? My first council meeting was in December. So at that council meeting, I made a request of His Worship the Mayor to assist in fixing even one road in the Morant division. We went through the deliberation, and in February council meeting, the mayor and I also have dialogue about the drains in Morant. Anyway, in February, he indicated to me that something can be worked out through the parochial revenue fund. He said I should select one road. The first road that I select was one of the worst roads, that is Needham Pen from Knots River Road around the hospital back road leading into Needham Pen. When the superintendent and myself traversed that road, he said to me, "It's not going to work because this road, the estimate is about," because he measured it in kilometers, and he said based on his measurement and the costing, it is going to cost over $30 million. So I said, wow, because I got far less than that. We looked also at Pipe Road, we call it Phillips Avenue, Pipe Road, Jakes Road. The money could not do that. He said I should look at a shorter road. I had a toss-up between Acacia Lane and Poinciana Crescent, which owns the licensed primary school. And resident Marcel Clark, and other persons also petitioned me about the road. So I said, okay, since we have limited funding, I think Poinciana Crescent would be the best bet. And it's really in a state of disrepair. So superintendent, myself, the works overseer, we went and we measured the road. And everything, all the paperwork were done, and it was set to go to tender on Tuesday. That's Tuesday of this week. So Monday morning, whilst I was there, I was at my family home in License, and residents called me to, complaining that substandard material is being worked on the road. And I was kind of shocked because I know that from the parish council standpoint, we haven't started anything yet because the work was, and I discussed it with him. The mayor was totally unaware, give him his due. He was totally unaware with him. The superintendent had no knowledge as to what was happening because all he knew was that the thing was up for tender. Okay. I went around to Poinciana Crescent, which I was within my rights, and I spoke with a representative of the contractor. It's a contracting firm out of Portland. And I think that is a firm that she uses to do all the works. Nobody from St. Thomas, Portland. So I spoke with the gentleman. I introduced myself as a councillor, and I asked, and he said, well, he's a member of parliament, engage them to do the work. So I immediately called back the superintendent, and I informed him. And I was there doing some video. I videoed the road, the roller was on the road with the substandard marl and all of that. And I did a video so that I could have the necessary evidence. When you look at the state of the drain, and I said, but I don't understand. You cannot be doing patching on the road and all of that. And Poinciana Crescent does not need a patching job. The drainage condition and all of that needs to be sorted out. I had dialogue again with the superintendent, and the superintendent could not reach on spot. Whilst I was there, the men were talking about they have to work on the road and what have you. So I said, I couldn't really engage in any argument with the workers because they're just workers. It's not their fault. Anyway, whilst I was there, I saw a police vehicle drove up. And the policeman just sat in the car, two of them, and he parked. So I smiled and I said, "Officer, you come to me?" And he said, "Yes." I went and I spoke with him. It's Officer Gordon, right? And he said, "What is going on?" I said, "What do you see going on?" He said, "Well, we got a call from the Member of Parliament to say that work is being done on the road and there is disturbance between JLP and PNP supporters." So I said to the police officer, "But you are here, right? Dre, Jamaica, Eastern St. Thomas, all I knew and all the persons that were there was myself, my driver, and Comrade Pasley. Nobody else. I saw two boys coming down. We called one of them Gilly. Gilly's a big man. He sells down by the big tree. And I saw Gilly and another guy came on and said, "What is happening?" So I was explaining to them and I turned to them and I said, "I don't even want to hear, you know." And them said, "Okay, mommy," and they left. Then, the police was there for a little while. So after the police left me, he drove up and he was talking to the workers. So I saw them start working again because they had put up their tools and everything. So I said to the officer, "I hope you're not the one who instruct them to continue the work because you're not authorized to do so." And he said to me, "Yes, Miss Shaw, we know." But that is a story. Put that aside,
Yes.
I'm saying, we are in a police state because if I am the councillor for the area,
yes,
right, and
yes.
I know that I had money on the road, the one who was doing the road, and for the Member of Parliament to be calling the police, what does that? What does that signal to you? Okay. Now, after that, I called the media and I was there waiting on the media. And the workers were there. When I look, I saw Pernell Charles Sr., 89-year-old Pernell Charles.
What?
He came in a brown vehicle, a brown SUV. And I saw him along with some men. Then when I look, I saw one named Brenton Hamilton from Prospect, not from license. I saw another one, Irvin. They call him Eastman. Okay? And I saw Lloyd Scott from Airy Castle, along with about 5 other men. All right? And they were there, all clad in their green shirts. And they came, and my driver and one of them had an argument. Then Pernell Charles came around and he went over to a young lady, Michi, right? Who I think Michi's a decent lady, right? And Michi was standing there because Michi lives around Ponciana Crescent. And he went straight up to Michi. Michi, did I make road stop work? Eh? Michi said, "Mr. Charles, don't mix me up because I don't say anybody stop any work."
Yes.
Then Mr. Pernell Charles, 89-year-old Pernell Charles, turned to me, point his finger in my face.
Wow.
Who give you authority to stop road? Dre, all I did, I just turned away and went to do the interview with DDJ.
Yes.
Comrade Pasley took him on, reprimanded him that he's a big old man. And why is he doing that? And why is he disrespecting the councillor like that?
And
so
rightfully so. I don't cut your councillor.
Yes.
I don't cut your councillor, Shaw. But why is it that the father, Pernell Charles, is there? He's no longer the representative for Eastern St. Thomas.
Hold on, Dre. This is what I want to ask Eastern St. Thomas this morning. What is the agenda? Don't you see the same old playbook playing out? Why is Pernell Charles so interested to have his daughter as the representative for Eastern St. Thomas and to continue for another 5 years? Is it that he's protecting the 1,300 acre of land in Piro that has been sitting there for 40 odd years with no development?
Oh.
When he was the Minister of Local Government, that is the time he formed a company and purchased the land and get the land by whatever means. All right, we have investigated it. We have the file, so we know the facts. But let that stay.
Yeah.
He that has it may. Right? So I just want to ask Eastern St. Thomas that question. What is the agenda here? Okay? The second thing I want to say is that there's so many issues bedeviling this constituency. You have the Roland Steel Road that has torn apart from recent hurricane, and that is under the responsibility of the Member of Parliament. Right? She does not even go to Roland Steel to take a look at that. Right? You have the Bomber River Drain, which is the National Works Agency, central government. The Member of Parliament takes a blind eye to it. When you look at the bridge in Bomber River that is falling apart, Trey and Jamaica and Eastern St. Thomas. At the last meeting, the superintendent of fire made a very damning report. Yeah? If there's a fire in Bomber River now, the fire truck cannot cross the bridge. All those things, the water problems and everything. No, why you come to fight with the elected councillor for a road that has a total of amount of money on the road, a total of over $5 million on that road to be fixed. Proper drainage, proper bushing of verges, and proper overlay of the road, right? She said that the REACH program does not do drain. So, Ponciana Crescent deserves better than that.
Yes.
They're all taxpayers.
Yes.
Right? So they need a proper road. And when you also look at the substandard material, the same marl that was used on the main road, that they have to be digging up so often, over 20 times, is the same marl that the contractor was using.
Unbelievable.
And all I am saying, how can you go on a parish council road to work and there's no supervision from the superintendent of works? Yeah, these are things that I'm used to. I am used to checks and balances, okay, and accountability.
Yes.
When I spoke with the National Works Agency, who oversees the REACH program, the parish manager have absolutely no idea of the work that is going on the road. So now, I am there defending the people, right, in a peaceful way, right? I was humiliated by Colonel Charles. And let me tell you something. Eastern St. Thomas knows that this is a new and different rose. A rose of 2025.
Yes.
You know, I just simply walked away and gave an interview, right? But I don't know for how long I'm going to suffer this sort of indignity with this man and his daughter, you know, like a plague on Eastern St. Thomas. And I want well-thinking Jamaicans and well-thinking people of Eastern St. Thomas to really look at it. We are not going back. It's the same old playbook. I remember in the 1980s when Duck and Field sugar workers tried for their money. It was the same Colonel Charles who called a battalion of soldiers and police to take advantage of these people, beat them up and all kind of things, right? This is a fact that cannot be successfully contributed. So I know the old playbook, right? But I want to say, I want to appeal to Eastern St. Thomas. You know me. You know that I have given my life to this constituency and St. Thomas and a whole.
Yes.
And I am here to protect the people of Eastern St. Thomas so that in the future they can have a better life. No amount of bullying, no amount of lies that is told on mainstream media and social media is going to deter me from making representation. And I want to say to Parnell Charles and his daughter publicly that the only alleged gunman that I know and badman that was around Point Center Crescent was Eastman from Prospect. That is something that I want them to know, right? No, I have all to lose. They have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose because I know that I care for the people of Eastern St. Thomas and I have great plans for them, right? So the misconception about this road and the REACH program, if you go around there now, yeah, you will see the patching that is done and you will see the condition of drains.
Councillor Rose, while you're speaking, I'm actually displaying the photographs for the entire Jamaica to see, and this road is unacceptable. You can see that the quality, it is just a mess. It is an eyesore what this member of parliament has done to the road in Ponciana Crescent. It is unacceptable. This is a horrid road and it is just a waste of taxpayers' money.
Precisely. And you know, Dre, she lied about the road being submitted from last year, August. That's a lie, because the Prime Minister did not launch the REACH program until August 31st.
Oh.
Okay? Right. We're down to September. So how could she have submitted that program before it was launched?
It's a lie.
Right?
It's a lie.
Yeah, it's a lie. And also a lie about bad men. She knew about bad men. She knew about bad men since I came to the People's National Party in 1995, and check how many years. Check how many years that. I have run 2 elections successfully for the People's National Party. Right? In 1998, right, I was a candidate up against JLP, Clifford Cameron. In 2003, I was up against the JLP candidate Richard Bonner, an attorney at law. And we had friendly banter. And those elections, we have never the people of Morant-Bay Division, and thanks to the party hierarchy. The people of Eastern St. Thomas, they are aware of what is happening. And the people of Morant-Bay Division, the people of Ponciana Crescent, you would have heard one of the residents, Marcel Clark, spoke about it. And he looked at the marl and said, oh my God, where are we? Where are they going with this sort of substandard marl? So, I'm just saying at this point in time, the people will decide, and I am continuing my campaign.
Yes.
Remember, remember, I did not go into Dalvin Division to have an argument with her about road, because there's a councillor there.
True.
I did not go into Port Morant Division to argue about road, because there's a councillor there. I didn't go to Bath to argue about road, there's a councillor. But I am the duly elected councillor in Morant-Bay. And I say I must be the guardian of the people and the guardian of taxpayers' money, right? Because that is what I swore to do when I was sworn in at the council on December 13th. So, these are the facts. And any well-thinking person, if you're a well-thinking person, you would have seen that this woman is making problems.
Yes.
Dre,
yes.
She did Spring Garden. She went up to Spring Garden. I was supposed to go to Spring Garden Saturday. Lo and behold, I heard that she started Spring Garden Road with Marl and the same REACH program according to her.
Yeah.
Right? I did not go because I had a walk in Spring Garden. So, you know, country state, have people, you know, the borough's coming up here today and what have you. Right? And she preempted me. I'm going to here. I said, no, I am not going, to the disgust of my supporters, because they are saying, you were the one who came up here and said you want to have a discussion with us. And we were expecting you to them because this woman came. You're not coming? Yeah? And I said, no, I am the leader, the new and reformed leader, Roshaw. So I have to make sure that I act in a decent manner. Right? Now, people are seeing it. We went to Fort. And while we were walking in Fort, my campaign manager is an attorney at law, Bertram Anderson. And we were there, and Bertram was shocked. The bike men came, and the green shirts, and they were just walking behind us looking for problems.
Wow.
And all we did was just move on.
Intimidation.
And we, greeted people, and we talked to people. Yes, that's sort of intimidation.
Yes.
So, when you look at it, they are the ones who are carrying out this sort of intimidation, this sort of 1970s and 80s politics, according to them. They are the ones, because they are the architect of that kind of politics.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Boy, may I tell you, I really appreciate you just coming, and because when I saw what was taking place in Eastern Centre, I'm like, why is the Member of Parliament not focusing on roads where she's responsible for? Councillor Shaw is the duly elected councillor for the Morant Bay division. She has a right to say, she have a right to speak for the persons there. Why is it that she, as the MP, is acting this way in a division where she didn't even want?
I want to say something. In the Dalby division is the only division that the JLP controls in the parish council.
Yes.
And Councillor McLeod, decent fellow, right? There is right at Cheswick there, a breakaway, right? And it has been there for so long. And the Member of Parliament passes, and she did not turn a blind eye.
Wow.
And Councillor McLeod, in his wisdom, went and he took a little sand and, was trying to do a little makeshifting. And she stopped it, right? And almost wanted to have a war with her own councillor. So, Jamaica, Eastern St. Thomas, I just want you to take a look at these things. And up to now, the problem has not been solved. Those are the things that she's supposed to go and do. I want to also say that the road that she's taking credit for, that's the main road. I want Jamaica and Eastern St. Thomas to remember that it was done, the road project started under the Jamaica Labour Party government, yes, in 2016. But remember that Fenton Ferguson was the Member of Parliament then. And the road started, and Fenton was the Member of Parliament who administered that part of the road.
Yes.
So she has brought nothing new to Eastern St. Thomas. Nothing new. So, these are the facts.
And I'm happy you could present the facts this morning, Councillor Shaw. But funny enough, it is so sad that out of the 4 divisions in Eastern St. Thomas, Michelle Charles only managed to have 1 division, and not even that 1 division that she holds. That council and her don't even get along. She lost the Port Morant division, she lost the Bath division, and she recently lost the Morant Bay division. And none of the councillors and her have a good relationship. As a matter of fact, them say she lie, and no communication between them cannot take place. Every councillors in Eastern St. Thomas do not wish to speak to Michelle Charles unless she put it in writing or send them an email. They say they don't trust her, and she is a liar. And we have to get out this representative. I want to thank you, Councillor Shaw, for clearing up the misinformation. And you are welcome on the Dre Bryan Show any time you see fit. But before you go, Councillor Shaw, just shout out to your constituents and your division, Morant Bay division, before you go. Just big them up and send some shout out to them.
Yes, I want to big up Morant Bay division. And I also want to big up Eastern St. Thomas. I mean, I was in Eric Castle yesterday. I was in the day before. I was in Skylot and Nickel, and the love is just, the outpouring of love is just immeasurable. I'm so happy that very soon you will have a representative who cares, who has the experience and have the know-how. And one more thing I want to say, that this Member of Parliament was sent by the US government to do remedial classes. And I would call upon the Honorable Andrew Holness to have this lady do some remedial politics in governance. So Eastern St. Thomas Morant Bay Division, one love, and I'll see you on the road.
Thank you so much, Councillor Shaw. Big up yourself, and we talk soon, all right?
God bless, God bless.
All the time, all the time. Well, Jamaica, there you have it. Councillor Rose Shaw for the Morant Bay Division, just shooting down some of the rumors that have been put out there by the outgoing Member of Parliament, Michelle Charles. What a thingy, man. Jamaica, stick and stay. Up next, we'll be joined by the next Member of Parliament for St. Anne Southeastern,